Meeple Talk! Hello everyone, I'm Stephanie.
And I'm Adam.
And welcome to Meeple Talk.
And as you can tell, we're steampunk today. That's because this is our first steampunk game review that we're doing.
One of many.
Yes. So we've called this one Steampunk 1, and the next one will be Steampunk 2, and so on and so forth.
They're like albums, it's awesome.
Yes. So tell them about our first game. Oh, let's take this off.
Okay.
We're not going to wear these. Don't worry.
I have prescription ones at home that work better. Okay. Do I have goggle lines?
You're all right.
Beautiful.
Not like the cartoons, where they're all black.
So this time we're talking about Mission Red Planet. So, as you can see, we have a giant planet as the board, and the idea behind this game is that you have a series of character cards that you're going to use to hopefully send your little Martians, or actually, well, they're humans, I guess, going to Mars.
They'll become Martians when they get there.
They'll become Martians, yeah, little mini Matt Damons. And they'll be going to the Red Planet in search of various types of minerals to mine and use for their crazy inventions. So I guess we'll just go right into it here. So how it works, everyone's got a series of cards.
They're all the same.
They're all the same characters, and they're all numbered 1 through 9. They have different types of functions. So we have a pilot, we have a travel agent, a secret agent, and a whole bunch of other characters. And so why they're numbered is that they all have a certain role and function. Whether you want to place astronauts to, fill up the ships, or place them on the planets, or move them around, or even a little sabotage. And so you want to decide as we go around in the turns what particular character you want to play. But the reason why they're numbered is that numbered 1 through 9 is that it's always a repeat of, or a series of countdowns. So 9, 8, 7, and so forth. And so as you go through a round and you do the countdown, we had these, character picked, hidden. And as the numbers count down and they match your particular character's number, you're going to flip and say, okay, I'm going to take that particular action. In this case, I am the scientist. And what he does is you can place a total of 2 astronauts in 1 or 2 dock ships and either draw an event card or look at 1 discovery card in play. So we'll get to those discovery cards in just a moment. So generally that's how the turns go, is that we all pick our characters at the same time. We do a countdown to determine, I guess, turn order, because there's not really a set turn order. It kind of varies depending on who you choose. And once you use your guys up, that's it, until you eventually recollect them into your hand and use them possibly again.
Yeah. So to give you that, a little bit more detail about how the game is played. Yeah. There are 10 rounds and a couple other extra rounds for basically earning resources. So all of your different guys, all of these question marks you see here, these are different regions on the planet. And so your goal is to get your astronauts on spaceships and then launch them to Mars or to the planet Phobos, which is a little moon that's circling around Mars. That's a really cool part of the game, by the way. And then eventually get your guys onto Mars, and then once you, or at least one astronaut gets into a zone, then you'll flip up these question marks, and that will show which of the 3 mining resources that you're going to earn.
So there is ice.
Which
one
is
of
blue
them
and cold.
is, yep, exactly. And then let me see if I can get an example. One's sylvanite, and I believe that's this one.
Sylvanite's worth 2.
Yes,
the purple one
okay.
is
The
sylvanite.
purpley crystally ones are sylvanites, and this one, Solarium.
Very good. Yes.
Okay, and that's the one that's worth the highest. Now, not all of the landmarks are have the same resource every single time. It's a series of, there's different number of tiles with different combinations of the resources, and you put them out randomly. So a game could have various ones, and so you can never really predict ahead of time.
Yeah, I believe the Solarium is the rarest, and then the Sylvanite is the second rarest, and then there's just a lot of ice everywhere.
And generally in the point scoring round, what the idea is over a couple of turns is that you want to pretty much outman a particular region, because once you do, you then can collect the benefit of that particular resource. As the game goes on, your I guess mining capabilities get better. So you might earn a little bit of that resource in round 1, second point round you get 2, third and the 3. So you kind of boost up that reward capability.
Exactly. Yeah. So this marks off all of the turns. There are 10 turns plus there are 3 resource scoring rounds, and then there are 2 spots where the special event cards come into play. So, for example, you'll start on round 1, and
I hope so.
That's a good place to start, right? So what's weird is that this counts from 1 to 10, but when you're actually determining who starts first, you go from 10 to 1. So you count down, which is kind of cool. But anyway, during these numbered rounds, as Stephanie mentioned, you'll play out all your cards. Everyone will play one card, and then they will count down, and depending on the number on their card, that's who goes first. And then after 5 rounds, the first scoring round appears, and then everyone will gain, whoever basically is a majority in an area, they'll get 1 resource. Just basically 1 token for the resource. After the 8th round, there's another scoring round, but you'll get 2 of each resource. And in the final round, you'll get 3 of each resource. And then there are, as we mentioned, event cards that you can get. If you have the scientist, then you can get some event cards. I think you start with 1 event card. The event cards change how the different regions are scored. They may give you set collection bonuses at the end of the game, and that sort of thing.
So for an example, one of the event cards, you might have a mini mission where you get a certain number of victory points as long as you have 1 person in every region, or maybe a certain configuration, so you could get resources like that. There's also an extra bonus score for the biggest ice, almost like in some other games like Original Settlers, Longest Road, or Largest Army. Same thing. This one is the largest ice.
The largest amount of ice, not the biggest ice
the
block.
biggest chunk. Exactly. You also get bonuses for earning as well. Also, there are these discovery cards among the event cards, and these ones are the secret game changer cards, I guess you could say, because when you go to play one, if you have one, you actually, whatever this says, you can determine what zone is going to get that particular effect, and it's hidden. And you do them around the available plots around the edges. If sometimes as a scientist you may have a chance to peek at one of them, that might change how you play that game. But how it could differ, this was a really nasty one that I lost out on from Adam. So this one, it's a subterfuge one, and it says, if only 1 player has the most astronauts in this zone, the player with the second most astronauts receives the points tokens instead. So that one really messed me up. And so
she was sitting on Solarium, which is worth 3 points per. And she was going in the final scoring round. She would have earned 9 points, and then I stole all that away.
Exactly. So those are some of the game changer tokens. So that we have. After the final resource collection phase, we have the actual discovery phase where all those are unveiled, and then we kind of recalculate some of the victory points based on what they actually say. That's a general overview. There's obviously more rules in the game, but let's now move to opinions. How did you feel about the game? Well, if it's that time now, I really dig the game. I think it's really lovely. You know what? I love these little figurines. A lot of little plastic player pieces are often very simplified in a lot of games. And, I don't want to knock wooden player pieces in Meeples. I love them. Just wood pieces I love. But you know what? For a plastic piece, this guy is really well done. I love him. So I call him my mini Matt Damon, because he's awesome. And... But what I will say is a negative part is that when it comes to the artwork, as long as we call it a steampunk game, but I feel like it's almost like a little bit of a masking of steampunk over a space and exploration, because space and exploration is the big general idea behind it. Other than like a little tiny gear on the flag. None of this part looks particularly steampunk.
Gears.
Exactly. None of it looks particularly steampunk, except for the characters. And so, the cards look cool. And a lot of the characters, they kind of are Victorians. Somewhat steampunky, not really. Some of them aren't. It's more like just Victorians in space.
Yeah.
And so it's a little bit of a skin on top, so to speak. But otherwise, that's just a minor. The actual gameplay of it, I think it's smart. It's a nice little smart strategy game. It doesn't look like it's supposed to be that difficult, but it actually tests you really well. And Adam was a good winner in that one, but I think it was just even so. I'm just saying because I lost, whatever exactly. But I still got a kick out of it, so I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. So my opinion is I really like this game because it's a fairly simple game. It's easy to understand, and I think it's very thematic. I do understand the point that it really is a space exploration game, and that is set in the steampunk era, so to speak. But I think they did a really good job. The cover art really inspires you, and then they've got the rocket ship cards and so on. And I really like the mechanism, which is similar to Robo Rally, for example, where
that's a good point.
Where
actually.
you count down. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you can choose a card and say, well, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be first because it's an 8, right? Mm-hmm. Or if I'm going to be a recruiter, 9, right? So if you have a lower one, you can say, well, okay, so my ship might be destroyed by a saboteur before I get to play. So so you can gauge your strategy based on that. I like the rocket ship where you're trying to get to the planet and you might get there or someone might sabotage it or you might get there and have 4 guides and you might land in a really good spot. You don't know what resources will come up.
Right.
I really like the moon because the moon is very strategic because there's only one card where you can move your astronauts around on the moon in order to have the greatest number of people in the one area, but the moon has another option where if you have people on the moon you can distribute them onto the moon, so that gives you an extra option to move guys around. The moon is really cool, and I like the overall look of the game. I think it looks really great, and I like the steampunk theme. Obviously we're doing a steampunk series, so but I think they did a really good job with this game, and I like it.
Yeah, I would say, I really like it. Yes. Exactly. And I guess one thing we forgot to mention is that this is actually a redo of an original version of a game. I believe in 2005 or 2006 they had an original version. So I haven't come across the original one. I don't really know much about the difference between that one and this one. But you know what? For a second edition, I don't know what they planned for on the first one, but it's a good job. So I would definitely say, it's a friendly game. I definitely recommend it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Like,
cool.
Honestly, before I, ordered the game so that we could play it, I was iffy. I was like, is this another one of those steampunk games that really isn't that good? But it really is well designed. I think it's very well refined, and I think you would have a lot of fun with it. Yeah,
I guess the only thing, another caveat I guess we could say, is that we hadn't had the opportunity to play, because it says it can be up to 6 players. We only played with 3 in all the times that we've played. So we've never tried double the amount of players. That might change.
That should be interesting.
Yeah, I know, because it might change how the game plays. So unfortunately, I couldn't tell you our opinion based on that. But you know what? I'd say if you have a larger group, or if you have played it and you have played it larger groups, let us know what you think. I'm curious to see how it changes things. So definitely leave us your comments. But other than that, that's it for us. So we are once again Meeple Talk. I am Stephanie.
I'm still Adam.
I think so.
I love saying that.
I know. And we'll see you later.
Thanks for watching. See you later.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.